All right, everybody. Hey, what's going on? It's John Brewer here with the Socially Distanced Supper Club, South Florida's restaurant guy, and I have the pleasure of being down here in Delray Beach. We are here at the EJS project, and I am here with Mr. Dupree Jackson. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Awesome.
Thanks for coming.
Absolutely. Good to see you. Let's get us both in this shot here because we were actually up for the same award, the Crystal Palm Award. And I don't like losing normally, but I don't have a problem losing to you because you're doing great stuff down here. And I want to give you an opportunity to let everybody know about what you guys are doing down here. It's amazing stuff.
Absolutely, I will. I do have a couple slides to show them, but
sure.
In brief, EJS project, we're a grassroots nonprofit. Our focus is to build and empower tomorrow's leaders. We work with youth. We provide group mentoring and out-of-school programming for teens. That's what we hang our hats on.
Awesome stuff. And we got a couple of those awesome teens hanging out here right now.
Hey,
good to see you guys. So what is basically going on here? How did it get started? So first of all, what does EJS stand for?
There you go. EJS stands for Emmanuel Jackson Sr. I named it in my father's honor. He passed away in 2011.
And that's him right there, right? Keep talking.
That's
I'm going to show a picture of him, the man himself.
Emmanuel Jackson Sr. is the guy I credit for instilling a lot of moral characteristics and discipline that I do have in me that helped me navigate through life to make it to this point. So I named this organization after him because at the end of the day, that's what I'm trying to be to everyone, the kid that walk through our door, mentor, father figure, someone to look up to, and the biggest thing, someone who they don't want to disappoint. So when it comes down to making that right or wrong decision, hopefully because of EJS and me being in their life, they will be more inclined to make the right decision. So that's how it was with me and my dad. I hated letting him down because he meant so much to me and he believed in me so much. So I try to do the same thing to all these kids.
And you're a local guy, right?
I'm local, born and raised in Delray. Obviously, I lived up North Florida a little bit with my dad, but Delray's home. I was born in Bethesda.
Awesome stuff. So maybe we get to some of these slides here to give everybody like an overview of what you guys are doing down here. Awesome work.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming, John, spending time with us. I was able to give you the whole overview, so you got to get a good idea of grasp of what we're doing. So I'll be really quickly here, where we came from, where we are now, and where we're going. So we'll go there.
Okay.
So the first step was...
There it is, the gutted out room.
There you go.
And you said there was one gentleman who was really instrumental in helping you guys get started, donated some materials and got everybody going, getting this place set up to where it needed to be.
That's the gentleman right there, Mr. Earl Lloyd.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of our founding board members. Unfortunately, he passed back in October unexpectedly. So much love and respect for him. We miss him so much, but literally the floors he's standing on, he are here because of him. And myself, along with Lloyd and a couple of our teams, are the same ones our back heads put these floors together. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Next slide.
Next slide.
Yep.
So we have, this is what it looks like now. This is really a beacon for the community. It's a place for our kids, our teens to call home, our staff, our volunteers, even our parents, you know. This is a place from not just teen activity, but for food give back, for Christmas give back, turkey giveaways, no matter what. However we can help the community, we do it here.
Awesome stuff.
All right, so we'll go to the next one. All right, this is really quick. This is if a teen wants to come to EJS. If you were to send your kid here to EJS, what would they get out of EJS? The basics. It'll be a place for them to eat, a place for them to learn, a place for them to serve their community and others, a place for them to connect with other forward-thinking teens and adults in a positive environment, a place to hang out. You know, you have adult supervision, but also what kids need. You have the games, and the biggest thing, you have Wi-Fi. So all that's
it. Yeah, it's so important. You know, I forget what they call it, Connective Deficit or something like digital. You know, just basically we think about being connected wirelessly as everybody's got it. But that's not necessarily the case. And I think it's a real disadvantage in this day and age if you're not connected. You know, for goofing around and socializing, hanging out in Xbox and stuff like that, but access to information.
And you know what, John? That wasn't a huge issue for us, but it came up just during the pandemic because we were able to get iPads and tablets, and we thought that was good. So the kids that were enrolled in our program, they had it, but we found out from a parent that they didn't have access to the internet.
Right.
So you could have the equipment.
Yeah.
But you don't have access, you know what I mean? So that was another good reason. In the interim, until we were able to help them get internet, they were able to just come here, do the work during certain hours, and that's why we're here.
Awesome stuff.
Was to explore.
Explore, yep. Safe place to be curious.
Correct. And you're going to get some constructive, positive feedback from adults who care about you. So
Love
you
it.
don't have to figure it out just amongst your peers. You go down the wrong road going that way.
Yep.
So these are our 4 core programming areas. So any type of program that we do or anything that you see EJS doing is some type
It's going to be one of those 4.
Correct. It's
Right.
going to fit in one of these buckets. And we'll give you a little example of our programs. For like career exposure, one of our biggest programs is our Purpose Page program. We employ teenagers. We give them their first job experience, paid internships. Thank you to Community Foundation for that funding. But yeah, we just partner with local businesses and a real partnership. We say, hey, we have teams who are ready. They have the soft skills. They have the skills to be able to help you. And if you're a business that are willing to supervise them and give them updates and reports to help sharpen those skills, I think it'll be a perfect match. They'll be up under our insurance and we'll pay them. So it's kind of like a great fit.
Great
It's
stuff.
been very successful. Sensemaker is one of our, this program, actually Kylie's right there. She's one of the stars of that program.
Oh, now you're shy.
Just so you all know, she gave us a great explanation on everything. Now all of a sudden she's shy. Okay.
I get it.
This is one.
Cameras are rolling.
Yeah. But Sensemaker program, I could talk about this program all day for a number of different reasons. It's so impactful, so beneficial. But how it came together with the partnership, we don't get to promote this, market this, or talk about it at all because, I don't know why though. We
don't want to lose our identity.
Correct. That's
lose
why.
our identity.
That's why. So I'll give you a little synopsis of what we do at Sensemaker. So Sensemaker is pretty much an app we use. We put out a link to gather stories from people. And one of the questions that we ask is, how was your life impacted by COVID-19? So we have a group of teens. Once these stories come in, they read them, they go through them. If something sticks out, whether it's good, bad, indifferent, or just a challenge, we try to respond to our neighbors in a helpful fashion. Thanks to Palm Healthcare, we have funds to be able to do that. So from paying bills, car payments, mortgage, light bill, like things like that, medical expenses, we were able to help with during the pandemic. So,
Great stuff.
and the kids played the biggest role in getting that done.
Yep.
Tutoring program, self-explanatory, but it was even more urgent. It became more prevalent, more urgent for us to do that this year because of the drop-off in just virtual schooling, distance learning. A lot of our kids, they weren't self-motivated. We saw them falling even more behind, and we didn't want that to happen. We kind of wanted to close that gap. So,
My wife's dealing with that as a teacher over at Don Estridge. She does reading there, and yeah, it's been tough, and she's teaching some kids. She's got like 3 or 4 kids per class, and then the other ones are on the computers, and she can see what's going on in the backgrounds, and the eyes are moving and darting all over the screen. So it's a challenging environment, and depending on what the home life of each one of the kids is and what's going on around them, how much attention they're putting into it. So it's definitely a challenge. So having a place like this where it's structured and it's relatively quiet, and everybody can dig in and get their studies going.
Yeah, man, that's a big challenge. It's very hard. Personally, my daughter, she's in 4th grade. We tried all the way up until December. We tried to do the home schooling between her and her mom and I. It doesn't work for everyone.
Yeah,
and she had 2 parents that helped her. She still wasn't successful. So we found out brick and mortar was the best place for her. So different things, but if it come up, this is a place. This is an option.
Nice.
EJS food distribution. When the pandemic first hit, we put out a needs assessment, and our family's most pressing, urgent needs were, first of all, the health and well-being of their loved ones and themselves. And secondly, not knowing where the next bill payment income will come from. So, and that ultimately leads to not have food insecurity, not knowing the next meal will come from. So we responded along with collaboration with Mr. C. Ron Allen. That's the principal of Atlanta, a bunch of other amazing people. You see Ted with Roots and Waynes there, Renee with CRA, a couple of our parents, Mr. Ron Galinsky, Mr. Chandler Hayes. Man, just this is definition of collaboration and responding to our community's needs. So our community were hungry, they needed somewhere to go to get hot meals, and for 14 weeks, every Friday, we provided those, and Monday through Thursday of those weeks, those 14 weeks, we also delivered meals to, hot meals to families' homes as well. So that's how we responded to COVID-19. EJS Thanksgiving drive-through, that was a huge success, and we put this up here. I told you, John, this was a great,
like a landmark day for you as an organization, and just really kind of saw the fruits of your labor kind of come together, right? You were telling me that before we started shooting. It was an incredible story. You know, you do so much day to day, and you get, you know, you got your regular flow of kids, but to get everybody all in one space there. And you said this isn't even half of the people that were helping volunteer.
Yeah, you know how it is. Now, by this time, you know, all the cars are gone, obviously, because we can take a picture. But so many people we had them been there about 3 hours. So many people had them kind of left. We had them cleaned up. You know, when you start cleaning up, people disperse. So this was the group we were able to get together after we cleaned up and after all the cars and stuff was done. So this probably half, maybe even a third of the people that were there. We had so many volunteers, parents, organizations, our teens invited friends, loved ones, people from Facebook. It was amazing.
Awesome stuff. Now, real quick, if people want to donate, or if they want to, you know, give you guys, you said you could either cut a check and drop it off, or they can go on to you guys have a website.
Yeah, EJSproject.org.
Okay.
It's easy. It's singular, so not projects. A lot of people put a S on projects.
Right.
EJSproject.org. You can click donate, and it'll take you to Stripe, which is our, instead of using PayPal, a lot of people don't like PayPal. We use Stripe. It's a third-party system, but it's very safe and very secure. Or you can write a check. And also, if you really want to help and give a check, I would suggest, because I'm a people person and we have a little downtime, reach out to me. Schedule a meeting. Come by, you know, look at the presentation. I can go into detail. I can tell you a little bit about the history. You can get to know myself, EJS, what we're doing, and get a better feel for where we're headed.
Fantastic.
So a couple more slides. Community engagement, conversations, getting our kids, inspiring people in front of our kids that are local, that they can relate to, and so they can inspire to be. So that's the big thing we do. We usually do it the first 2 years, once monthly, but now thanks to a partnership, amazing organization, KLP Mentor Network has taken it to the next level. Thanks to Mr. C. Ron Allen, every Friday we host a community conversation.
Great stuff.
All right, y'all saw that. John
That's the night we met. Yeah, that's the night we met.
Good night.
Yep. This was at the where was it? The Arts Garage.
Arts Garage.
This was the Arts Garage, and that's Marcus right there.
Yes, sir.
And he's a big part of what's going on here. And this was there they go. That's the Crystal Palm Award right there. Awesome stuff. What a great night that was. Like we said, it was kind of funny because everybody was firing off, doing their own thing during COVID, and you guys were dealing with and, you know, we created a supper club, and with the help of the community and all the love, it took off, and it's still doing what it needs to do, just like you guys are. And it was just great to kind of have all these people in one room that were still moving, shaking, and grooving. Like you said, it's about that action. And, you know, even during this challenging situation that we're still going through right now.
All right, so this, I told you we had someone outside consultant come in and help us with a strategic plan, evaluation plan. And one of the things she did as part of her interviews was ask stakeholders, funders, board members, parents, 20 years from now, if you were to read a headline for EJS, what would you expect it to see? What would it read? And so it was great to see that and kind of have a North Star. So at the end of the day, 20 years, these we hoping these come true sometime throughout that time. And so we always, that's why again, it goes back to our core programming, why we stay within our lines, because we're working towards something. We're really trying to put these kids in a position to be ready for life the day they graduate, whether that's college, whether that's continuing working, because most of them work. We have 18 seniors graduating this year, 16 of them currently have a job. So we're already preparing them to be successful at that. Or whether it's trade or being an entrepreneur, whatever it is, we want you to be ready and have a little bit of experience. So that's what we're doing. Couple of achievements and milestones from this year. Hometown Heroes was big. We recently found out that Palm Beach State awarded us their 2021 Martin Luther King Organizational Award for Leadership. That's huge. We'll be celebrating that next week. And another huge accomplishment was our response along with our community and agencies like Delray Beach Police Department, leaders like Mr. Reggie Cox, C. Ron Allen, Morris Verstappen, don't want to forget anybody. Takaya Verstappen, Prentice Mobley, who else was there? Mrs. Greta Britt, Prince Arafat, Jabaro Sams. It was definitely a team effort, but in response to one of the most uneasy times as far as the background after George Floyd incident, we rose to the challenge. Delray, the people of the community wanted to do something, they wanted to be heard, but it's important for us to represent Delray and do it the right way. So be heard, get your point across, but be safe. So it was a Black Lives Matter, I can't breathe again, peaceful protest. So you can imagine the controversy behind that. But in that moment, in that day, there was no controversy. Everyone was there in unison. We had amazing speakers, and it was just a great day. One of the biggest days in Delray history. So I'm proud to have been a part of that. So last year, all 4 of these were I can't even say goals. They really were like wishes. We wish we had this in 3, 4, 5 years. Because of 2020 was such an amazing year, out of our 4 biggest goals, we have grown our board, we have increased our resources and revenue, we have a strategic plan and continuing with our program evaluation. The last thing that we don't have yet is a permanent place to call home. Although this will be going into our 4th year of calling this place home, we need a place. Again, our goal is to be around here at Pat the Kids 20 years from now. We're going to be still making headlines. In order to do that, you have to have a permanent place in the community, right? So our vision, our goal is to end up here one day. So if you're looking at this and it looks familiar, I'll tell you right now, for transparency, we didn't have the budget to get a rendering and everything put together. So I took this from an organization down in Miami that has a capital campaign that's going to be building their building, just to give us a little direction and a little motivation. So we want something like that to be right here in Delray for all of our kids, to provide them with everything they need, the essentials, and biggest thing, they know they have support around the clock and a safe space to go. So that's pretty much it, man.
Awesome stuff, man. It's really, yeah, clap, absolutely. So I know all the kids here are grateful for what you guys are doing. I'm grateful for it. It's great to see community like this. Anything anybody wants to say before we check out here?
Thank you for coming.
Absolutely, my pleasure, man. We've been meaning to do this since we met over at the Arts Garage, and you know, I think it's important that everybody gets involved with everybody. You know, we need to be one Delray. You know, and I think the one thing coming out of this COVID is that we are unified, and I think it's important that we keep that, and we're all in this together, man. I mean, COVID don't care what you look like. It's you know, it affects every one of us. So appreciate everything you guys are doing, and give us a word before we sign out here.
All right, my word is, like Mr. Marcus said, we're very appreciative for you, and also John hit it on the head. John said something off camera that set with me, because one of my goals ultimately. John he was born here, he left and came back. I was born here, I went off to school, came back. When you do that, it opens your mind up to the world, so you see things from a different perspective. So for me, I value what we have here at Delray so much more. So when we went through a year like 2020, and then to have that night and see all those people who rose to the test, right, so to speak, I wasn't surprised. That's the type of city we have. We have an amazing city. So everybody who's watching this, because you're in a social distance supper club, it's no accident. We rise to challenges. When our neighbors need help, we find a way to get it done. I'm glad to be a part of this village. I'm glad to introduce myself, our teams, to you, and that's pretty much all I would like to say. Again, we love and we need the funds, we need to donate, but we need relationships just as much. So
that's so important.
Yeah, yep. So if you want to schedule a visit, schedule a site visit, please reach out. Please email, and we'll get you on the calendar ASAP.
Awesome stuff. All right, everybody, take care. Have a great evening, and we'll see y'all soon.
All right.